You are watching Other Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
The principle, if you will, of enjoying your aquarium is a function of setting it up so that it is trouble-free and as labor-free as is possible. And that's really all I've been trying to teach through all these videos, is how to set up an aquarium that's trouble-free, that's labor-free, that's easy to maintain, that you can walk away from for an extended period of time, and it will remain stable and healthy. So I guess that's really, if you're having trouble, that's what you need to figure out. Is that it really is possible. Excuse me, it really is possible to set up an aquarium that is honestly trouble-free. I was watching a video recently, maybe long one,
Mercy. Mercy. Hello, everyone. How are you? Delighted to be here. EJ will be along. She's having children issues. Trying to get some things organized with her kiddos. So we'll just wish her well and be in her corner and encourage her along the way. Carter Bing, hello, hello. Mermaid's Chorus. Lurking while doing fishing stuff. Me too. R.I.P. Cop Dublin. Amen to that. Amen to that. Never a moment goes by when I'm not thinking about him and missing the warmth and the joy, the celebration that was Aquarium Con. What an amazing, loving, joyous man. We do miss him. We do miss him terribly. Kevin, I'm doing all right. I'm a little better every day, I think. Near as I can tell, I'm a little bit better every day. Was talking with John earlier today. He called me up. That was kind of my take on things. I'm not getting a lot done. I've been here now in my new home for 3 weeks. I managed to get the stand moved in and tanks set on it. Unfortunately, one of the 29s is cracked. So I put a 20 in its place. We'll see how that works out. It'll be on the bottom so it won't be too noticeable. And it might be able to fix the whole and the back panel just cracked from one end to the other. It got knocked and chipped and just it's fixable. I can silicone a piece of glass up against it edge to edge and it'll be fine. I've done that many times before and it works. I'm not sure I want to do it. We'll see. They do have a tendency to turn into leakers. Peplin Creek, good evening to you. Nice to see you. Happy to have you here. Purple Jagger, good to have you here. There's a good friend from Discord who's just one of the real stalwarts over on Discord. We hit our 837th member today on Discord. So I don't know how long it'll take us to get to 1,000. We're running 839, probably about 2 to 3 months. We're running a couple a day, so we'll see. Chris George, hello Chris. Kevin Rosenberg, Scott Stankovich, happy Friday to you. And Gren is here. We're broadcasting on EJ's channel as well as on Father Fish. I don't know if I can, unless I'm on EJ's channel, I can't see comments. So it's really not a good idea to do it. That's kind of what screwed things up last week. I decided to broadcast on all channels and then realized at the last minute that was going to really mess up the chat big time. So we dropped everything, canceled it all, and started over. And I think it managed to confuse some folks because their numbers were way down. Heart for EJ, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Let's see. Yeah, this coming week I'll be putting dirt in them and filling them. I'm going to order plants next week or the week after. I think I'm ordering fish this coming week. I've got an order in. We'll see. It may be too soon to do that. I'm anxious to get going, so I'm thinking I want to do orders. Cameron, howdy from South Africa. We have probably half a dozen people or more from South Africa. We got a bunch of folks in Discord and here on the channel from South Africa. I'm sure it's a great hobby, and I'm sure there are a lot of natives that are fairly easy to get. Kevin, don't forget the leaves. Do you need any floaters or stems? I can send you some if needed. Yeah, I need everything, actually. I have little or nothing. I tried bringing some things. I managed to get most everything spread around. And then at the last minute, Frank brought me some pygmy sunfish that I was so excited about. And I dumped them in the 40. And unfortunately, dumped a bunch of muck in there with them. And the muck just fouled the water. So I wound up losing everything. So I'm kind of down to nothing at this point. I will be getting some next week, some bluefin killies and some Formosa that Chase has caught for me in Florida and is going to ship up to me. I've been using bioaquatics to get fish shipped out from Florida. If you have not dealt with bioaquatics, don't know who they are, look them up. That's Andres. Andres is probably the top breeder in the United States. There isn't anyone who is a more sophisticated, accomplished breeder of tropical fish than is Andre. Bioaquatics, BIOAQUATIX. He has a YouTube page and he has a YouTube channel and he has a website, bioaquatics.com. He sells a fair amount of stuff, all of which he raises, plants as well as fish. Check him out. He's amazing. Lee Wilcox is here. Lee, happy to see you. Sue has me building a small pond in our small garden. Well, I saw the video of you lusting over your neighbor's pond, so I'm not surprised that Sue encouraged you to do that. That's wonderful news. That's exciting. I know what it's like to get so caught up in what you're doing that you don't video it. I am notorious for that. I always seem to remember after I'm finished whatever it is I'm doing that would really have been a wonderful video. I don't know. I need a pond liner. He's getting a pond liner. Well, that's neat. That'll be fun. Fanaticals rescaped and got sand in the tank. Bravo. Fanaticals is redoing an old tank that had gravel and old gravel and dirt, which is a wonderful foundation for a new tank. All you really need to do is cover it. Now, I think he's adding a layer of dirt, putting the gravel down, and then capping it with some new sand. So it's going to be really quite nice. Carter Bing added 200 scuds to a 10-gallon planted tank. Well, that'll load them up. I was talking with EJ about it. She said if you feed them, they will multiply beyond your wildest imaginings. So be sure to feed them. She's feeding green water. If you can get green water going, green water is the basic food for microfauna. That and leaves. Basic food for microfauna is dried leaves and green water. You want to definitely get green water going. It's really, really kind of vital to. They all seem to have disappeared. Well, they may seem to have. They're just down in the bottom. They hide. Scuds are great hiders. They get underneath things. The best way to catch them is to pick up rocks. They'll be on the bottom. They'll be under the rock, generally running around on it. You pick up a rock, shake it in your bucket, and put it back. You'll have all kinds of scuds in your bucket. That's their natural condition. At night, they'll come out. During the day, they hide. So if you want to see them, you need to see them either under an infrared or at night. Lee's saying neighbor Dave is doing it wrong, doesn't have a clue. I'm sure. A pond versus pond. Well, you're going to show them how it's done, Lee. And then put them on the father fish. I'll beat them up. I'll beat them into submission. Carter Bing, almond leaves, work on the green water. Yeah, absolutely. You need both. Kevin saying, I have a seasoned 20 long that needs fish. Gotta get a nice pair of Apistos and maybe some Tucano tetras. Apistos would be wonderful. They're so much fun. If you get a pair, they're gonna spawn and you will have babies. They're such a neat fish to be able to breed. Scott South Pacific started breeding guppies. All I get is females and a few males. Why is that? Because you're a very lucky man. Or woman, as the case may be. That's very fortunate. That means you're going to maximize your population. You'll get lots and lots of babies. And ain't nothing to worry about. It may have to do with the temperature of the water. It's probably simply genetics. There's not a thing you can do about it other than count your blessings. My eye has been burning for about 4 days. I keep treating it. I've got different stuff I treat it with. Doing this stuff right now. And it works fairly well. But by the end of the day, it's burning again. So, I don't know. I guess it's just part of getting older. So, that makes it burn. Oh, send Dave a link to your upside down tank video. He's still hell-bent on doing it wrong. My pond will have life at the bottom, thank you. You betcha. Well, after he kills everything for the umpteenth time, you can suggest he put a bag of sand or two in it. That's really all he needs. Just put sand in it. Lee said, talking to fanaticals, he said, lived and worked in India, Africa, Honduras. I am acclimated. Lee's been all over the world. Lee is an utterly remarkable person. He was he worked on a number of early computer projects, like the moon landing, I think was one. Um, but he also was he he did competitive. I don't know what it's called. Competitive acrobatic cycling, bicycle, which is how he injured himself to the point where he became relatively dysfunctional, but an absolutely remarkable man. Happy to have you here, Lee. Enjoyed your video the other day catching fish. Thank you, Kevin. That was such great fun. I love that pond. It's one of the places I'm really gonna miss because I was able to get so many different things there dependably. I took the Booty Boys there, and James just fell in love with it. We had to drag him out by the leg. He wouldn't come out. He kept catching fish over and over and over again. In fact, Chattanooga Ed got Self and Molly's out of that pond that he is still breeding and is apparently loaded with them. Scott likes the music. That's a new feature on StreamYard that's kind of nice, except it repeats the same chord over and over and over and over. I could do a different one. Here, I'll play a couple, see what you think. Where are they? Right here. Let's see. Let me kick the volume up a bit so you can hear them. I don't know if I like that one. It's called Acoustic Cinematic. We'll try that one for a while. Back to comments. Fat old man now in loving retirement, Lee says. I worked on the WWW before it was released. Rode BMX stunt. Park, vert, and dirt. Amazing stuff. Fanaticals. Sound like you've had some colorful ventures. Did my fair share in Hong Kong, China, and Thailand, but they had good AC. Kevin said, if I don't do Epistos, I'm thinking Nanochromis splendens, and doing keeping before. They look amazing, and their behavior is even better. Let's get a picture of these. That's such a cool fish. Let's see if we can pop them up here. The Nanochromis is yeah. Let's see. There we go. Pretty fish. They're related, obviously, to the crebensis. From Tanganyika, I think they're East African. There's a fair amount of variation with them. Really pretty. There's a splendens. There's a Tagalsi. A number of species of them. Really very pretty fish. I have not spawned them. I've had them, but I've not bred them. I bred a lot of crebensis. They should be every bit as simple to breed as the crebensis. These are really nice because of the iridescence, a beautiful iridescence. That's the Tulgelsi, the Tugelsi. Transvestitis. There's a pretty one. Look at that. That amazing. Gorgeous, gorgeous fish. A stunning, stunning fish. Impressive. If you can get them, go for it. They are really just a magnificent fish. EJ is having problems with her daughter's medication. Her daughter's a diabetic, and it's a complicated story, but her daughter was visiting her father, and the medication got left at her father's. So she's trying to get it, and he's being uncooperative. So things are kind of at a crisis point right now. She'll be in even when she gets it worked out. They are lovely. Yes, they are, aren't they? Wild caught pair for $50. It's not a bad price. And wild caught FOs are certainly desirable. I would go for it. They're really a remarkable fish. As I said, I've not spawned them, but the cremensis are so easy to breed. I can't imagine these would not be. Typically, this species of fish they're a cave spawner, and they will actually create a cave by digging under a rock and then laying their eggs on the inside roof of the cave, on the bottom of the rock, in other words. So, but make sure you've got some cave type situations in there. Pots will do. Flat stones work perfectly well. They dig out under them. Kevin have a pair of triple red cockatoides, so I may just go for the nanos. Well, yeah, if you got cockatoides, and the triple reds are about as pretty as they get. So, yeah, that would be a good next pair, Kevin, to try to get the Nanochromis going. And of course, the wonderful part about it is, if you can breed them, they're very easy to raise. They're pretty big when they're born. They manage very well. The parents are excellent at caring for them. So if you go to spawn, you're probably going to get them to grow out, and you'll have something that will be of real value then. Kennedy, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Peace and love to you as well. Lee said, "Did I ever tell you the time I flew to the sun? Still didn't tan." No, but you probably burned to a crisp. Dad, Mike, global warming, right? Like that. Made the flying to the sun story up. Did the feathers melt? Did the wax melt on the feathers and you fell to the ground? How sad. How sad that was. Chicken of the sea. Chicken of the seas. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Gren saying UK weather is comparable to mine. 40 is high. 40 is 100 degrees. Guess it is high. Geo Tank Mates, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Patricia Powers is here. Hello, Patricia. Happy to see you here. Fanatical says my corridors fly to the sun multiple times a day. They do that, don't they? That's because they're air breathers. They go whoop, whoop, and down. Whoop, whoop, down. Spitting out a bubble and taking in a bubble. They do it instantly. Cories and plecos. And bettas. And what else? Gouramis. All the gouramis. Oh, there's some really fabulous gouramis available right now. The chocolates. And what's the other one called? I can't remember. Looks a bit like a chocolate. I had some in my last tank, but I'm probably not going to be able to do them right away. I really want to, but I don't think I better. I think I better wait until I get these tanks set up. That way I'm not throwing them into a tank that's really not ready. What I need to do is get plants first. Verily, verily, my betta does it with the cories in my tank. Yeah, they probably are chasing each other. Up to the top and back to the bottom. Snake Plissken. Hey, Snake. Don't always build level and plumb. When I do, I use water tools. Water tools. Water tools to build level and plumb. I know how to do that. Level and plumb. It turns out that the stand warped because the tank's sitting on it and it's wobbling kind of corner to corner. So I'm going to put some quarter to half inch styrofoam under it to level it, and that'll make it solid. Licorice. Kevin has chocolates and licorice. Wow, amazing, amazing fish. I've been getting them for years. It's finally become possible. They've started to raise them in I think Thailand. They're raising them in captivity, so we're getting domestically raised chocolates and licorice now, which we were not able to get before, and they were pretty tough. I had chocolate spawn once years ago, and I really want to get them again. Kevin, have you spawned any of them yet? There is a gal on Facebook who's spawning chocolates. You might try to find her and get some pointers if you're not doing it. Patricia made a comment on Discord about ferts killing the fish tank. Could you elaborate or send me to a YouTube vid you did that addresses the issue? I don't know that I've dealt with it specifically in a video. The person in question was fertilizing with liquid fertilizer about once a week, and just had created a terrible imbalance in the tank, which was killing the fish. I mean, he was having all kinds of problems. It wasn't the ferts specifically that did it. It was the impact of all of that nutrition and chemical going into the tank on a continuing basis. What people don't understand is the very small amount of nutrition that plants need in order to thrive. Even plants that take all of their nutrition from the water. If you have fish in the water, they're providing more than adequate nutrition for whatever plants you have in there. You know, I'm fond of saying the more plants you have, the more fish you can have. The opposite is also true. The more fish you have, the more plants you can have. And even beyond that, the more fish you have, the more plants you will have. The more plants you have, the more fish you will have. They really are mutually dependent and mutually supportive of each other. So if you've got plants in your tank with a lot of fish, you're going to wind up with a lot more plants. A lot of plants and a few fish, you'll wind up with a lot more fish. Fertilizer is something that occurs naturally. The fish in the tank cause it. You know, we need fertilizer in gardens that are starved, that are not organically balanced gardens. Our tank is an organically balanced environment. It does not need fertilizer. Fertilizer tends to burn things up. It tends to be an overkill. It creates conditions that are not particularly healthy. If you've got a tank that has no nutrition in it, where the plants are starved, sure, ferts are going to help. But it's not a long term fix. It's a very poor short term fix. Kevin said, I'm not spawning them yet, but keep trying. It'll happen. It'll happen. The trick is getting females, getting pairs. If you've got pairs, you're ahead of the game. Geo Tank Mates had a tetra, was suffering bad from fin rot to the point its tail was completely gone. I don't see him anymore. Guess he was eaten. Would fish get sick from eating him? No. But I would be concerned about having fin rot in a tank with other fish because it's an environmental problem. It's not genetic. It's not caused by the fish getting sick. It's caused by an excess of a bacterial imbalance in the tank, in which the bacteria is attacking the most sensitive parts of the fish, which are the fins, the edges of the fins. You have to understand that the edge of fins does not get blood flow. And so it's not able to heal itself particularly well. If there's an infection, it's gonna tend to persist. It has to be dealt with. And the best way to deal with those kinds of bacterial problems is to take the fish out and put them in a salt solution. The salt will kill the bacteria, or at least cause it to be stressed enough to back off. Howard Van Tassel. Let's see. Scott Stinkovich, can anybody remember a Dr. D show lyric song? It was April the 41st, being a quadruple leap year. I was driving through downtown Atlantis. My Barracuda was in the shop, so I was in a rented Stingray. No, can't say that I have. Kevin is saying that they're an amazing fish. They absolutely are. Fanatical sucks with gouramis. They're a tough one. I'll tell you, with the oddball ones, you really need soft water, a low pH and soft water. If you can do that, you'll stand a much better chance. They also need live food. So brine shrimp, worms, they like worms, scuds, daphnia, anything like that. While I'm on the subject, EJ is starting a business selling live food starter culture. The way this is going to work is she's going to have 6 items listed. You pick 4 of them, and those 4 will be shipped to you in little 4-ounce containers. They're special bottles that are waterproof bottles. They're urine sample bottles, actually, but they're perfect for that. For that, they'll be half filled. We'll have scuds, daphnia, green water, vinegar eels. I don't remember what else. A couple more things. Gonna do blackworms, but she thinks they're gonna need to be done in another way. Anyway, for $50, you get that shipping included. You get 4 culture shipping included. It will be listed once I get back to my computer guy. It'll be listed on the Fatherfish website, fatherfishaquarium.net. We'll have it there. We'll also have it on Discord. We're going to try to promote it as widely as we can and see if we can't get people really moving forward with live cultures. Green water is the key. You get green water and that's food for everything. Green water and leaves. Let's see. Back to George Tankmates on the bacteria. Any kind of fin rot is something that needs to be paid attention to. You don't need to overkill with medication. All you really need to do is get the fish out of there and get it in a salt solution. You can do a dip, which is 1 tablespoon per quart, or you can do 1 tablespoon per gallon and leave it in there, and it'll clear the fin rot up. You can also put drops of merthiolate, mercurochrome, or even some antibacterial ointment on the fin, and that'll kill the bacteria as well. You need a bactericide. Salt works. All of the other ointments, bacterial ointments, work as well. If you're going to use something like mercurochrome or merthiolate, don't get it near their gills. It'll burn their gills. Just be delicate and careful with it and get it right on the infected portion, and it'll clear it up right away. Danny Ken. Hey Kenny, how are you? Nice to see you. Sunset Jen. Hello, Sunset Jen. Patricia says thank you with a question mark. She was asking about, the ferts. Fertilizer, right. Scott's filling in for moon boots. It's their big shoes to fill. Let's see, Elena Comisano. How often should I change the water? I took out 40%. Let me back up, see if there was an earlier. Teeny tiny guppy food pellets. Fisher and Fever is here. Goodness sakes, nice to see you, Fisher and Fever. Happy to have you here. James. Elena, here it is. I have a 90-gallon full of guppies. My son dumped a pack of fancy guppy in the tank. Looked like food, she means. 90-gallon snow globe. What do I do? Siphon as much as you can out. Use a net, swirl it out. Get as much as you can out. Do a 25% water change daily. Do it today. Siphon the bottom. Swirl as much food out as you can, and then siphon the rest. Do a 25% water change. Whatever you do, don't put more food in the tank. Not for a long, long time. Um, it's if you hang in there with it, you're going to be okay. 25% water change. You can do that twice a day. If you've got conditioned water, just do it every 6 hours or so. If the fish are stressing, oh, that's the other thing. Maximize water flow or bubbles. Yeah, get as much bubbling action as you can in there. You want to keep the O2 level up. Get as much of the food as you can. Siphon what you can. Do 25% water change, and then do it again in 6 to 8 hours. Do it again tomorrow. You should be able to get caught up with this and be able to get past it in one day. It's not going to be, if you're on it right away, that means you've gotten to it before that food starts to deteriorate. So get as much as you can out, get the filtration going as best you can, do a water change. I wouldn't do more than 25%, but do it several times. Wait a few hours in between and do it again. You'll be able to beat this. It's not gonna destroy things. Just get right on it and stay with it. James Green, hello, hello. Fish Room Fever is here. Delighted to see you. Hey, James. Happy to have you here. Let's see. Crispy. Hello, Crispy. TV Tiny Guppy Food Pellets. That's going to make it a lot easier to get out. Pellets are, that means it's not going to break down as fast as the flakes will. So just get it all out as best you can. Use a siphon. When you do the water change, do it with a siphon. And siphon that out, get all of it out. Best you can. Gravel vacuuming, that's right, chicken of the sea. Yep, that'll work. Aquatic nests, hello, hello. 40% out. Do that again tomorrow. You can do it routinely so long as your water is conditioned. You don't want to put water in there that's going to stress or kill the fish. Crispy, I culture microfood for fry by simply putting drops of tank water on water lettuce in the same tank. That works. That works perfectly well. Fanatical saw some stunning licorice gourami at my LFS. Would they do better and more brackish grow out? No. Just the opposite. They need to be they need to be in salt acid water, not brackish. They're from Borneo, which the pH of the water in Borneo is between 3 and 5. It's very soft, very acidic water. Now they've been bred in captivity, so it's come up some, but 6 to 7 would be my recommendation, and as soft as you can make it. Soft acid water. Bonnie Viper, hello, good to see you. Coldwater Aquatics, goodness sakes, we got all the big guys here today. Coldwater, happy to see you. Delighted to have you with us. Liberty Bell Cichlids, hello. Goodness sakes, how many we got here? 53. We're getting, we're rocking and rolling, aren't we? That's exciting. Just hang in there with it, Elena. You're not going to lose anything. Just get on it, stay on it, deal with it. It'll be, you'll be able to deal with it within hours. It's not going to be a catastrophe. You caught it before it became one, hopefully. After you get the tank sorted out, swish your filter media around in a bucket. Yeah, that's exactly right. Get that filter media out of there and clean it. Put new media in, whatever. Get it clean. You don't want all that food still in the system. So good point, Chicken at Sea. Make sure you clean your filter. Anyone going to Aquashella, Dallas? Peplin, Fanaticals, Fanoxky, and Brandon. Fanoxky's here. There he is, sure enough. Fish Kodo. Coldwater Aquatics. I haven't started yet. What I'm going to be, I've been scouting local drainage ditches, creeks, streams, what rivers, whatever in the area, trying to figure out how to get to them. I want to get natives. I want to get local small natives in my tanks. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And I'm going to be doing tubs, so I want to be able to get natives in tubs that I can leave out through the winter. I will, I hope, put a greenhouse in, so I'll be able to provide a little bit of security, but looking to be able to do that. Brian, hey Brian, Markio 306, Fisher & Fever's going to be in Dallas. And look, Kenny's going. Are you going? Snake Plissken, I have mother sword plants shooting babies all over. What can I do to promote this? When should I take the baby off? When it's got a lot of root. And you'll know. When it grows root, then just clip the connecting stem and you'll be able to transplant it or leave it in there. When it really starts growing, well, after it's coming up, that's when it'll have more roots. But you can kind of check it and see. Scott, I guess we're shrimp. Crispy, I've been out there on my local fish groups promoting natural tanks and this page. Bravo, Crispy. Good for you. Chris George will be at Aquashella, Dallas. Loving the wallpaper. This is a panel, isn't that nice? A dear friend of mine died, Debbie. I don't know if you ever met Debbie. Debbie used to come into my shop every Saturday, spend the whole day cleaning, and then gather up fish as payment. She was an absolute delight. I've got a little picture of her I need to post. Standing at the window with her bags of fish and her big beaming smile. Anyway, this came out of her home. This was hers, so I've always cherished it. Speaking of natives, check your messenger when you get a chance. Neplin Creek, talking to Coldwater Aquatics. Yes, it'll be fun collecting them. Absolutely will. Jamie A. Hello, Jamie. We need to get Jamie a wrench here. Turn you blue. You go, Jamie A. I know you love the natives, Coldwater. Best native collection on YouTube. Hands down. If you've not been to Coldwater Aquatics, you need to be there. Post your link, Coldwater, and your live stream dates. We'll try to get some people over there. Wonderful, wonderful fish room. Great live stream. Just really, really worth following through with. Aquatic Nests. Hello, hello. It says Josh Koch. Aquashella's on my birthday. Would love to go, but not in the cards. Well, we'll turn you blue, Josh. Thank you. Member of the club here. Foxy's Fish is here. Hello, hello. Nice to see you, Foxy. There's my dear friend. Happy to have you here. Pedro Castel from Bolivia. Pedro, nice to see you. I don't know if we've had anyone else from Bolivia. We've had folks in from Brazil, from Argentina, Mexico, of course. First time maybe from Bolivia. Nice. Snake. Gonna add some alligator weed plant to my African 150. Maybe top the sand with small gravel in the fresh planted areas. That river gravel, the little river rock is so pretty and so nice. I really like that. Kosis from Canada. Nice to see you, Kosis. Let's turn you blue. George Tankmates. Thank you so much for the super chat. Geo Tankmates. Thank you for bringing this fish family together. Well, they really are together tonight, aren't they? This is quite an event. I'm humbled and gratified. Thank you all for coming in. Just a lot of my favorite people on YouTube are with us tonight. Absolutely delighted. Roxanne, chief among them. "3G is here." Hello, 3G. Aquatic Ness. What else is going on here? Let's see. Jamie A. Hey, Jamie. Give Jamie. Scott Stenkovich just sent us $5. Thank you, Scott. Very nice. Really do appreciate it. And here's Petlin Creek right behind him with another 5, like the good old days. Yes, it is, isn't it? We need to bring the good old days back. We absolutely do. I think we've all been missing the good old days. You know, so many of us started this YouTube thing just about 4 years ago. We kind of all came up together and used to spend a lot of time together, and then we sort of all went our own direction. I've been trying to pop in on some places recently just to say hello, and I'm just so gratified and humbled that so many of you have come in tonight. I wish AJ were here. You all need to meet her. She is an absolute delight, and like Roxy, so excited about fish, and Mary Page, just delightful, excited, and doing some absolutely amazing things. She's working on something Roe worked on, working on the food web, and is really making serious headway in teaching us how to do that. So very exciting stuff. Chicken of the sea. If I have to keep 35 baby snails in a 10-gallon until they are big enough to get adopted, what's the best way to keep parameters in check? Changing 20% water per day now. Well, you know, if you get a deep substrate in there and a lot of plants, it's going to make things a lot easier. Chicken of the Sea, thank you so much for the super chat. Guess that's a super chat. Thank you for the gift. That's very nice. Very much appreciated. You're probably overdoing it. You're not going to hurt anything. 20% a day. You could do 10%. If you get some a deep substrate in there and a lot of plants, you can cut it down to once a week. Depends really how much you're feeding and how much waste is in there. I would assume what you're doing is really pushing them hard to get them growing. So if you're doing that in a bare tank, then you could do 100% a day instead of 10-gallon tank. Might even do that. If you feed them really, really heavily, just max it out. Do 5 to 10 gallons a day. Get them in new water. Keep them in new water all the time. Granwood, Aquatic Nests, 3G, Pepling Creek. Oh, Chick of the Sea, $5. Thank you, Chick of the Sea. Chicken of the Sea. Josh Coke. Working on building the hobby in my area, making friends and doing some trading and gifting of critters and plants. The hobby is becoming very important in my life. Thank you all for being here. Josh, you were saying what so many of us feel and experience, and this hobby has been at the center of my life for many, many years. I'm happy to hear it is increasingly at yours. And that's true for so many of us who are here tonight. It is vital. I'm excited right now about being in this new community here in Salisbury. It's a college town, and I really want to get a club started. So I haven't begun reaching out yet. I visited one shop, didn't think a lot of it, but the guy running it was interesting, and I might be able to, plant on me, LOL, fanaticals. Thank you, fanaticals. Absolutely. Just need to start meeting some people. There's a farmer's market, and I think I'm going to start taking some bowls with bettas and shrimp set up as little bio tanks around and try to sell them and start putting together a group, collect names and emails, and see if we can get some meetings going on. That'll be great fun. The best way to do it is to get people visiting your home and then visit others. That gets people meeting each other and getting to know each other. It builds friendships, and out of that you can build a club. Red Laser is in Ontario. That's COSIS. We need to turn you blue. Moderator. Kenny. Let's see, Marty L80. Hello? Marty 80. Hello, Marty 80. Oh, this is wonderful. Kenny is gifting memberships. It's a new feature that YouTube has just introduced that allows you to gift memberships for 1 month to people. Kenny just gifted Grenwood, Pepling Creek, Dad Mike, Jamie A, and USL Services. That's absolutely amazing. Gifted 5 Father Fish memberships. Denny, that's delightful. Thank you so much. How nice. Will you have a designated room for your tanks, or just dotting them here and there? I don't have a designated room. I've got a little tiny 20-foot by 20-foot cottage, and it's tiny. So I'm shoehorning tanks in where I can. I've got so far 5, and I've got another 5 I can bring in. And then I want to start doing window sills, window shelves with small tanks and jars. So we're gonna get it built out, but it's gonna take a bit. Danny, that's so generous and so kind. Thank you so much for that. That's really wonderful. Marty 80, hello. Let's see. Coldwater, Pepland. Danny Ken, did I see where? Yeah. Geomates Red Laser is in Hamilton. Kevin Rosenberg, message you on Discord, sending you plans. Thank you, Kevin. They will be much appreciated. Chicken of the Sea. I wish they were a closer club. I think I'm going to have to make a 2-hour drive to Spring Hill to get to a club. Probably near your old stomping grounds, Father Fish. Yeah, do that, and then try to make some friends with people in your community. A club doesn't have to be 50 people. It can be 5. It can be a small group that gets together once a month or so. Aquarium, Chicken of the Sea said there's a wonderful club in Pasco County. Pasco's got a big club too. They run 100 people and lowered 400 or 500 items in their auction. Lucas is there now. He's attending that meeting regularly. What's this? High rise window cleaner. Goodness sakes. Right there. Look at that. Thank you, High Rise. I haven't seen you in an age. Delighted to see you. Nice to have you here. High rise window cleaner. Delightful. Let's see. Spaghetti Nona. Skitty Nona. Chicken of the Sea. What kind of snails? I have a 10-gallon with plants and 30 baby mysteries that are growing fast. Fanatical says stack 'em high. That's the plan. Oh, also mysteries, gold mysteries. Nice. Josh Cock, I'm in a 2020 bike house as well. A 2020 house. 11 tanks so far. Live in an outdoor pond. I'll bet you. Yeah, I got a bunch. I brought a dozen tanks with me, and I've got about a dozen tubs. So looking to get the tubs going pretty quick here. Nov, N-O-V-V. Nov, no. Nov, let's see, is saying, I don't know if you remember me, but I spoke to you through a comment in one of your videos last year and set up a tank with your method. It's been a year and all was well, but plants are starting to look unhealthy since last week, when I need to supplement with root tabs from now. Well, you could certainly do that. Just push them down in there. If you can also use Osmocote, one little Osmocote bead per plant. Grab them with a pair of tweezers and push it down in the bottom next to the plant. The Osmocote is an easy one, and you only need one tiny bead, just one bead per plant. You can put them in with a pair of tweezers. I think I'm going to auction the snails at the Aquarium Club in Pasco County. Well, that'll be fun. Nano Aquarium guy, hello. Good to see you, Scott Stankovic. As soon as you get tanks rolling, let me and Wendy know. We'll send you plants for Mate's Tank to assist you. Well, thank you so much, Scott and Wendy. That'll be delightful. Nano Aquarium guy. I know nah. Nano says hi to no nah. No, awesome. I'll give it a go. Thanks for your wisdom. Silver Creek Aquatics. Hello, Silver Creek. I'm going to make you a moderator. Ashamed to say, but first time here. I thought Father Fish was just a nickname people used. I found Waldo, y'all. Hello to everyone. That's delightful, Silver Creek. How fun. How nice to have you. Great to have you here. Thought Father Fish was just a nickname. Well, I guess I mentioned anyway. That's funny. That's delightful. Happy to have you here. By the way, folks, any of you who have not gotten over to Discord yet, by all means do so. Let me see if I can post the link real quick. um, we've got at any one point in time about 100 people in conversation with each other. There, it's delightful. There are about 25 different channels, all different topics. A great opportunity to meet people, talk to people, discuss issues in a really very wide range of topics. Almost all fish related, but in some cases not, or at least in one case. But do come over, do join in. It's really, really a lot of fun. Here's the link. You can get over there and join the party. Foxy says snails are life. Yes, indeed they are. I saw somebody posted last week a white snail that looks like a rabbit snail, except it has more ridges. I'd never seen before, and I can't remember what they called it, but really, really pretty. Let's see. Patty Childs is here. Love you too, Patty. Absolutely delightful to have you. Plant Life Project. Hey, Father Fish. I thought about you today while visiting my local natural science museum with my son. Unfortunately, none of the tanks had deep dirt substrate. You may have a little discussion with the aquarists there and teach them a little bit about how to keep fish healthy and happy. Silver Creek, I think I gave you a wrench that hasn't come up yet. Let's see. Honey Viper. Nano Aquarium guy, Markio 306. I'm repeating myself. So nice to see everybody here. Fanaticals, my electric blue Acara that spawned 2 times and ate the eggs, hopefully 3rd time lucky, with some sand to dig in. Pull the eggs out. Pull them out and hatch them. You can do that. They're easy to hatch and easy to raise the babies. Generally with fish, we really want the first hatching or so, or the first spawn. Pull the eggs out and hatch them separately. Just put them in a container with a little air stone, some new water, or really clean water from the tank they were hatched in, that they were laid in. Once they hatch and are free swimming, then you put a sponge filter in and start feeding them. Generally, micro worm is a good first food. You can graduate from there to sifted Daphne, the little tiny ones, or baby brine shrimp in about a week. A Hercules snail, that might be. I don't remember what they said. Yes, that's what it was. Exactly. Stunning snail. I'd not seen it before. A white wizard, Chick of the Sea says. Well, there's maybe another name for the same thing. Fish Boy 7. I run a sponge filter in a deep sub tank, wondering if that off gases too much CO2 to inhibit plant growth. It does not off gas. Oh, I got it. That's a good question. It's a really good question, Fish Boy. You can balance it. Try to find a balance. Make sure you're getting adequate growth on your plants. If you are, then don't worry about it. If the growth seems to be stunted, then simply cut back on the air and see if that makes a difference. What you don't want to do is create such a high level of CO2 that that you're low on oxygen, which would affect the fish. All the air does is move the water. It's moving water that releases, that gases off the CO2. So if you slow down the water movement, you're going to slow down the off gassing. Just play with it a little and see what you think. There is a way to optimize that. Josh loves shrimp and snails. They keep everything clean and look great doing it. Foxy, I have a large colony of white wizards. Did a species profile on them. Aha! I'm going to have to get some snails from Foxy. I can see that coming. I do have a bunch of rabbits, and they've managed to survive. Also have mysteries. Chris George converting another aquarium in my office to deep substrate this weekend. You go, George. Chris George. Nice. Anyone know Chick of the Sea? Why Java fern gets black spots. Then eventually the whole leaf turns black. It's dying. Just pull it off and do another one. Now, if you have a leaf that's dying, clip it off and let it float in the tank. It will grow new leaves around the perimeter. New plants will grow around the perimeter of it. But you have to clip it off first for that to happen. I mean, it'll happen naturally. But if you've got a leaf that is dying, that's how it's going to regenerate itself. It's by clipping it and letting it float. You can, if you're afraid of the black spot, put it in a different container. It's really not a contaminant. It's just that the plant is dying. That leaf, rather. Not the plant, just the leaf. Funny. Talking about Foxy. Oh, that's Bunny saw Foxy's video. Okay. Oh, Fanatical. Well, this time I got PBS and banana worms. Perfect. Perfect. Chris Trapp. Can there be too many plants in an aquarium or just once it's too dense for fish to swim through? Absolutely not. It is impossible. I'll tell you what. I have a childhood memory of being on Cox Neck Creek as a little kid, swimming out to my grandfather's sailboat and laying on the gunnel and looking down in the water. It was about 3-4 feet of water, maybe 5 feet. Thick, solid with plants. There were runways that the fish had created through the plants, and I could watch those paths. There were fish paths running through the plants. Fish will manage. They will manage the plants. You cannot have two plants. You're not going to have so many plants that the fish can't swim through them. The fish will work it out. Trust me, they will work it out. Foxy said they're filter feeders and live birthers. I think the rabbit snail's a live birther too, isn't it? Scott, smash that like button or your deep substrate make part of fun. Do they put out a snorkel to filter feed? I don't know about that. Kevin loves snails. Potassium on the Java fern, Scott's saying. Scott says, I got fern problems. They filter feed through their gills, Foxy says. Scott, Java love potassium. I don't know why, it just does. Kevin, I have temple plant growing over a foot out the top of my tank. Can I clip off its surface and replant in substrate? No, it will not replant. Temple plant, I don't think so. The stems will not root. But if you will clip all of those leaves that are floating off, you'll get plant growth at the base that'll look a lot prettier in the tank. Cody Fuller, the river closest to my house has a lot of dragonfly larvae and freaky looking stink bug looking things. Are either of these harmful? Well, they ain't wonderful. I don't know what this stink bug looking thing is. That probably is a good food for larger fish, as are dragonfly larvae for that matter. You can feed them to bigger fish. They will eat little tiny fish. So, yeah, it's something you want to be cautious about. But they're big enough to see. When they become a problem, you can just take them out with a net or pick them up with your hand. They're not going to hurt you. And they will eat little fish. So, let's see. Foxy's saying, it all started with an accidental pond snail. For me, it got up to 15 tanks of just mystery snails. After that, I love snails too. Foxy's quite the snail aficionado. Got a lot of really, really nice snails. Fishboy7, are you running CO2? If not, you actually want to off gas to reach equilibrium. This is first class fish. If you are, you still want that, but it'll cost you more in CO2. So people turn it down during the day. Fishboy7, lights are on 12 hours. Thinking about taking out the sponge for internal filter for circulation and to prevent the bubbles to conserve CO2. It's not likely that it's a problem. You experiment with it. Watch your plant growth and see how it's affected. This hobby is an experimental hobby. It's as much an art form as it is a science. You need to finesse and tweak. Finesse and tweak. Try hard 531. Got burnt out of the hobby, getting back in after 2 years. Well, if you will get in with a deep substrate, you're not going to get burnt out again. Try hard. Come on over to Discord. We'll teach you how to do it. We'll watch some of my videos. Get an inch or 2 inches of sand. You will be good to go. Foxy says yes, rabbit snails, alive birthers. I made a song about snails. We need to hear that, absolutely. First class is saying the more air exchange, the better. Cody, I've been picking them out of the tank as I put plants in. Chick of the Sea, the LFS owner says he hates snails. Dim one and he almost faded. How can you hate snails? Fox has said he'll learn the error of his ways. I like the snails, first class fish. Crispy, speaking of snails, I've noticed different lights affect the color of my ram horns. That's interesting. Chick of the Sea, I have an increasing limpet population. I don't mind, but does anybody know where they come from? They come from other limpets. I think they come from the mystery snail clutch. They appeared in the breeder box with those eggs. It came in as just a tiny little thing you didn't see. Probably came in on a plant. And they're pretty prolific, but they're totally harmless. In fact, they're really helpful. I think limpets are a very cool snail. They're really not a snail, I guess, are they? Are they a bivalve? They're not a bivalve. What are they called? What is that called? What's the big one in California called? That is used for as food. Gets real big, has some holes in it. What is that called? Been trying to remember it for days. Is 12 hours of light a lot? I only do 8. I do some tanks 24/7. I have tanks that have fairly low light. I never turn the light off. Generally speaking, your plants will adapt to whatever light you give them, but generally speaking, the more the better. First class says it depends on the intensity. Absolutely true. It doesn't depend on the intensity. They're cleaning all the walls, Chick of the Sea says. Freshwater limpets travel in on new plants, not from mystery snail clutches. Right you are, Fox. Right you are. Where are we? We're at 9:24. Lucas is coming up at 9:30, so we're going to give this a few more minutes and then make room for Lucas. Thank you all for coming in. It's been absolutely delightful. It's just really been a lot of fun. I missed having EJ up here. I know she wanted to be here. I know she would have been thrilled. And I know she'll be watching. So I have hundreds of ram's horns and pond snails in my system, says Josh. A lot of folks are not a fan. I wouldn't go without them. First class fish. Key to low tech tanks for minimizing water changes. The plants adapt to the low CO2. Add water and you add CO2, and it's a mess. So lots of plants don't ever stock and limit. Deep substrate, and you don't need to worry about it. Been a wild one tonight, Fanatical says. Yes, it has. What great fun. Autonole, they've been gone for years and years. Crispy says. James Green. Question. Had a patient that used their oxygen tank to run an aquarium sponge filter during brownouts. Would this increase water oxygen from both surface agitation and gas diffusion? You betcha. You betcha. Absolutely. Wouldn't hurt anything. Love the string, Kevin. Yes, indeed. Great fun. Easiest floating plant to grow. Well, duckweed. Duckweed's the easiest one to grow. Frog's bit is really a nice one, and it's pretty easy to grow. Scott, yes. Prayers with EJ and her family. Amen. First class fish. Party in here. Whoop, whoop. You bet. Hope Mary is back Sunday. I do too. She's been having trouble with her house and trouble with her online service and just one thing after another. Josh Cock, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you very, very much. Special thoughts for AJ. We'll be back here with her next Friday. Going to try to get a video together. I really want to do something with her and her live culture. She's doing so well with it. By the way, my t-shirt is the Venice, I can't do it, Venice Aquarium Society. Isn't that cool? Floaters are really easy. All of them are. They are. Benjamin Peters. Benjamin. Turn you blue here. Add a moderator. Thank you very much for being here. Great to have you with us. First class fish. Fox, the easiest floater. Duckweed. Frog bit's nice, you bet. Chick of the Sea. I have salvia minimum. Didn't survive. Snails kept using it as parachutes. Yeah, snails like to eat some of that stuff. Alrighty, boys and girls, we are at 9:28, I think. I don't know what time. What time is it? 9:25. We got a few more minutes. Mermaid's Chorus. Nice to see you and take care. Scott Stinkovich, welcome. BP, a couple of videos up. Josh Koch, if anyone's interested, post your link, Josh, so we can take a look at your videos. James Green, Thank you, all the moderators. That would be everybody. Thank you, James. Snails love parasnailing. Yes. Always a pleasure to see the Fish Fam and the father of fish and knowledge fanaticals. Nice to have you here. Appreciate you more than you know, Cody Fullerhead says. Thank you so much, Cody. Do appreciate it. Fishboy, what do you think about plenums? I was going to start one like a deep substrate. That's so easy to care for. Plenums are meaningless. It's neither negative nor positive. It doesn't do anything beneficial, nor does it do anything harmful. Plenums are, I don't know anything quite like them, meaningless. And that's based on the best research that's been done in the last 25 years. GARF, G-A-R-F, garf.org still has a website up. They studied plenums back in the 90s and determined that they were meaningless. Good night, first class fish. Nice to see you. Great to have everybody here. Parasnailing is the greatest. Crispy, have a good night. Listen to my daughter and make a video. I have swordtail plants in my tank. Does it turn the water green? I have no idea what a swordtail plant is, Patty Childs. Does it turn the water green? Only single cell green plants are the only thing that turns the water green. So if your swordtail plant is a single cell algae, it'll turn the water green. Josh, I don't know how to post links. Vids are under this name. Yeah, just click on this name. Sure enough. Not sure if you can just click on my name. The three dots. Remove, put timeout, hide, user, remove. Now they take it, they put it on and they take it off. They've had it on, now they've taken it off. YouTube does make it difficult. Just type it out, Josh. Just type the link. You can copy and paste it, or just type it. All right, my loves, we're at 9:30. What time is it actually? My clock's a little fast. 9:29. Let's go visit Lucas. Everybody, all at once, gang up on Lucas. God bless you all. Be here Sunday night, 6 o'clock, with Mary Page. I hope. Be back next Friday with EJ. I hope. I will try to get something out this week with EJ, and we'll continue to be posting videos. By the way, I'm posting old videos as remastered. Getting a lot of views. Some of it, I've got so many out there they get lost. So I try to find stuff that's fun and get it back up again. Seems to be appreciated. I hope it is. Nano, thank you so much. Bye, Fanatical. Thank you, Chick of the Sea, James Green, Fish Boy. Bless you all. Good night. Bye for now. See you Sunday night.